Mic check, mic check. Okay, sorry about that. My mic, I've been having a challenge with my mic, so I'm switching back to the old one. I hope the audio wasn't as bad. So let's just continue from there. Okay, just hold on a few minutes, just make a few changes right there. Okay, so we were saying Kate Cunningham is the player that you can build on for your squad. I think he has earned that. Of course, his price has gone up over the time, but he's getting back to his usual form, which is a very, very good form right there for Kate Cunningham. He scored 58 points in the game, scoring 34 and a double-double right there. 10 assists there for him, and I'm sure all this went to Durant right there, also scoring 50 points in this one, which is 11 rebounds and 30 points, a double-double there for Durant himself. Then, of course, came Michael Porter Jr. doing his thing in this team. He's had a very good, he's scoring some good points right there. It's just that consistency is something that is lacking with him. But if you're willing to risk, you may as well go ahead because I think the minutes are good for him in this team. He has enough playing time, so chances of him scoring high and big are good. They are really high as well. So he scored 40 points right there, fantasy points, and 28 points in the game, but it wasn't enough for Brooklyn Nets. They could not withstand Kate Cunningham and Durant's duo that both scored 30 plus points in this game. So it ended 125 to 107. All right. So the next game was Kevin Durant taking on the man, the myth, the legend, Wembenyama. So that one, of course, when Benyama managed to get back to winning ways after they had lost a couple of games earlier on. So that puts them in third place. They are not far off from second place, which is actually Lakers. I'm looking at the Western Conference right there. Of course, it is being led currently by Oklahoma City Thunders, who have 9 wins and 1 loss. Second place is LA Lakers that have 7 wins and 2 losses. Then third place comes San Antonio Spurs with 6 wins and 2 losses. Of course, tied with Denver Nuggets in fourth place with 6 wins and 2 losses as well. Then fifth place comes Portland Trail Blazers. You know, those guys that blazed against the defending champions managed to give them that one loss that they have this season, which was a shocker. Because Oklahoma lost that one, but Portland Trail Blazers did us proud. We do not want a team that has a 1% win percentage of 1, which is really, really high, meaning they would be unbeaten. But right there. All right. So in this case, Houston Rockets managed to lose that one. They were in Texas, San Antonio's home. And of course, we saw Wembenyama doing his thing right there, scoring 22 points in that one. But Harrison Barnes was the highlight of the game, scoring 24 points and 5 rebounds, which is 49 points right there. Champagne, remember this man who missed and cost the team their second loss of the season. He could not make the shots right there towards the end as they were playing. Of course, LA Lakers, remember the highlights from my last video of that game. And boy, oh boy, was it a thriller. But this time round, he redeemed himself, showing them why they actually need him on the squad. He scored 22 points and 7 rebounds in that game, which is a total of 46 fantasy points right there for Champagne. Then, of course, Kevin Durant doing his thing, asserting himself in this game, scoring 24 points in that one and 32 fantasy points. Alperen Şengün, the Turkish-born youngster right there, doing his thing. He's actually very good. So if you can afford to have him in your squad, I would say please go ahead. He is a very good player, reliable, consistent, and very, very, very good. So scoring 25 points in the game, nearly a triple double, but fall shy by one rebound, which gave him only 9, and of course 2 assists right there, nearly triple double for him, but he falls shy right there. Then of course there's Reed Shepherd. Some of the people that are popping up, he scored 16 points in the game. I don't know. I don't want to encourage you guys to get him, but give it time and see how he fares. Then, of course, Devin Vassell right there scoring 15 points, 36 total fantasy points right there for him. So, of course, San Antonio Spurs managed to win that one. So, the highlights, I think it's going to be the first highlights we're going to show. This is the San Antonio Spurs. So, I'm on a different plan. I hope it works this time round. I'm expecting connectivity, but it has not yet been approved, so I'm still waiting. Hopefully by the end, let's hope we can get through some of these highlights. So this was one of those games of the NBA Cup, and of course, this is San Antonio and Shangun. This was a battle. That's Shangun right there, one of his points. Of course, Durant has actually jailed well in this squad. That's Wembenyama with his good handles. Once he gets there, it's a done deal. You cannot stop him. You either foul him, but you cannot stop him. That's Amen Thompson with a 3 from deep down. So I'm going to skip towards the end. That's a steal. Okogie. Okogie steals the ball from Wemby. Wemby with a rebound right there. You cannot compete with him around the rim. That's an assist. There you go. Barnes right there from deep. Harper and Shangun decides to take on the myth. He cannot risk going up because he will be brought down by Wembenyama. That's Champagny. Vassell right there. And one 4-point shot. Vassell from long range. A rebound from Johnson to Barnes. Barnes is a very good shooter in the corners. Like most of his shots come from the corners. You remember him from the days in Golden State Warriors. That's Barnes. Shohan. That's Sohan trying to Johnson with a rebound. Basket. All right, let's skip to the end right here. As Harper and Shangun trying to beat the myth. Unfortunately, you don't see that. Champagny right there from deep. All right, so this is 4 minutes on the clock in the fourth. Shepherd, remember the separation is just 3 points. Vassell with the ball to Wemby. Wembenyama. Wow. They just let him go through uncontested. Wembenyama. Okay, my internet is a bit slow right there. That Champagny redeeming himself for the team right there. Wembenyama doing his thing. Nice rebound right there. Okay, so my connectivity is not the best because I'm in between networks right here back home, so I expected it to be that slow. So moving on to the next game, of course, we see Cooper Flag and company playing Memphis. They lost again that one. They're actually doing terribly bad. So I hope the GM, the general manager, and will eat their words. They're actually rock bottom at the moment. New Orleans Pelicans actually passed them. They're actually the ones at the bottom. They have lost. They have played 8 games, no 9 games and lost. They have lost 7 and won 2. So they are doing terribly this season. So we see there the resurgence of Ja Morant scoring 61 points in this one. Wow, that was good. That's 21 in the game and 13 assists, a total of 61 fantasy points for Ja Morant. Cooper Flag, as we check, He had a couple of good games right there. He had 48, a couple of 30-point games as well. And this time round he's going back down. There's this one where he had 20 points, nearly double and 9 assists. And now he is back to his usual self, scoring 12 in this one, 6 rebounds and 2 assists, a total of 28 fantasy points for Cooper Flag. I don't think he's going to be Rookie of the Year, considering his starting form. So it's going to be really an uphill climb for him if he's to get that title from the likes of Agecomb and AJ right there. So the Charlotte Hornets took on Miami Heat. Miami Heat's actually playing well. Norman Powell right there with 25 points. Don't know why he has a flag on him after dropping 25 points and playing 3 consecutive games. Probably got the injury in this one. All right. Then there's this man called Kon Napnupel. So these are some of the players that are getting some playing minutes. So maybe you can consider bringing them in. He scored 50 points. It's actually in the front court. So no, it's actually backcourt player. Wow. Okay, that's impressive. That's impressive. 30 points in the game. Wow. I thought he would be a front court player. Wow, he's someone to consider. Because of course LaMelo Ball is out for some time. So if you can get someone who can give you this much at this salary, it's something to really consider. Actually, you can see him consistent. Now that he has been given some light, he is taking over. Someone to consider right there. Then of course Andrew Wiggins, right there, scoring a total of 40 points, 22 in the game, 4 rebounds and 4 assists right there. Jacques Jr., someone that we were looking at, has been playing well, managed to score, wow, 50 fantasy points right there. 18 points in the game, 8 rebounds and 9 assists there for Jacques Jr. So you can get those players in for yourself. Then of course we had the other game was Chicago Bulls taking on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Chicago Bulls are actually playing so well in this season that we are seeing kind of a resurgence of the days of Michael Jordan in the Eastern Conference right there. So, of course, the Chicago Bulls have been dethroned. They were on top of the leaderboard. But after this loss, they fall to second place. And, of course, Cade Cunningham and crew take the helm right there in the Eastern Conference with 7 wins and 2 losses. So, right there, Berselli resurges again. Mateus Berselli resurges, scoring a total of 43 fantasy points and of course 20 points in the game right there. Then Jones as well resurges as well, 33 fantasy points and 17 points in the game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you can guess who the player of the night was, scoring 86 points right there for the Milwaukee Bucks. 41 in the game, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, nearly triple-double for him in this game. I think I have a couple of highlights of this one. Let's see if it will load. So this is them coming in, Bulls taking on Bucks right there. The Sumo is eating some food. I hope you saw him back there. Sumo had the plate from the buffet line. Gotta eat some food right there. Let's see if I can show you that shot right there when Milwaukee. Right there. That's the Sumo right there for the Bulls. Vucevic. All right. So, of course, there was tip-off right there. So, this is the group. They are in Group C. It's game number 2. So, that's why I was saying some of the teams have not actually played. This is game number 2 for the Bulls in the tournament. That's the tip-off. So, I'm going to skip towards the end. I just hope my connectivity works better than the previous. That's the Antetokounmpo from deep basket. He had a quiet game. That's Rollins right there. Rollins doing some good, nice alley oop, a nice lob right there. Rollins misses that one. He falls short. This is Turner with the ball all the way. Wow, that's an and one. Kuzma to Giannis. Pulls it back to Rollins. Basket. I actually have Rollins in my team. AJ Green to Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're actually playing so well. Let's hope it's good enough for them to go all the way to the end of the season right there. That's Vucevic. So this is final 45. That's Jones coast to coast right there. So these are 2 seconds on the clock. It's done deal. Of course, Milwaukee Bucks managed to win this. And remember, like I said, they had to play all the way because this what determines actually is the head-to-head. So the fewer points you lose while playing this tournament, the better it is for you. So they won that one. That's Milwaukee Bucks taking the point in this one. So then, of course, we had Utah taking on Minnesota Timberwolves. Of course, they got Anthony Edwards back, and he's doing his thing. Wow, scoring 50 fantasy points in that one. That's a 37 piece for the man right there. And of course, we have there's a contender, which I'll just look at him shortly. Anthony Edwards doing his thing right there. Julius Randle had taken over while Edwards was away, and he managed to score 56 in this one. 19, that's a triple double for Julius Randle right there. 56 points, 19 points in the game, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists for Julius Randle. That's a very, very good score. So the player I wanted us to look at is Larry Marketing. Larry Marketing was, I think, 1 second, but he's now currently 7th place at averaging a total of 28.3 points per game. So he's slowly going down. He started very, very well. He was actually in the top 5 at some point, even 2nd place behind Tyrese Maxey. But of course, Tyrese Maxey maintains the lead this time round, averaging 33.5 points per game. Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2nd place, averaging 33.4. That's a 0.1 difference between the first and second right there between Tyrese Maxey and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trying to reclaim his throne. We know he is the one that won a point average score last season, who had the highest last season. Of course, he also won the MVP. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 3rd place with at 34.8. Austin Reeves, who is out injured, still maintains his 31.1 points per game in 4th place. Donovan Mitchell is resurging right there with 30.9. And of course, the player of game day 4 night was Devin Booker right there in 6th place, averaging 30.2. Okay, so that's how that game ended right there. Minnesota taking it. Then, of course, we had Golden State Warriors taking on Denver Nuggets. And in this game, I actually captained Nikola Jokic, which was, I'd hoped they would push him to a yet another 80-point game, fantasy point game, but unfortunately not. It ended up being a sweep. I forgot that their star player, that's Curry, is actually out with illness, so which means we shall see a rise in minutes for Porzingis. So maybe you can try to get him in, because at point guard, Porzingis will be taking over. So they lost that one 104 to 129, Denver Nuggets. And yeah, of course, Nikola Jokic scoring a total of 56 points in that one, scoring 26 points. Wow, he fell short of the triple-double by just one of each. Rebounds and assists, scoring 9 in each. Okay. So then the final game, of course, was between the defending champions taking on Sacramento, and wow, this man is a revelation. Russell Westbrook, if you can get him in, I don't know where he's coming from, but boy oh boy, he's scoring well. He's racking up those points. Managed to score 24 points in this one, a total of 48 fantasy points. Isaiah Hardenstein right there, 70 points. Wow, that's 33 points in the game and 19 rebounds there for Isaiah Hardenstein. And of course, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander scoring his 46 fantasy points, 30 in the game, and it was enough for them to get that win right there. So, how I fared, of course, was just moving on to game day 5 right there. Was good. It was above average. Of course, I triggered my captaincy, and of course, it gave me 285 points right there. It was a total of 112 points for Nikola Jokic. Minyo gave me 25. Wembenyama gave me 47. AJ Mitchell this time round pulls through 55. And Rollins 46 on the bench. It was a good decision right there. So, looking at this game, week 6, deadline is going to be soon. So, I am put living in Wemby, living in Nikola Jokic, living in George, Bruce Holiday, and Reeves. I am thinking of leaving that as my squad. Edgecombe, there's a time I played him and he did not deliver. So he will be on my bench. So that's the squad I am saving tonight. Then a quick look at the player of the day right there. Player of the night, of course, was yours truly, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wow, that was when he was dethroning the Chicago Bulls from the helm in the Eastern Conference. Of course, right there they were surpassed by Cade Cunningham and crew, and right now the Chicago are in second place. Then maybe look at where the Milwaukee Bucks are. Milwaukee Bucks are just behind Cleveland Cavaliers in third place. They are in fourth place with 6 wins and 3 losses right there. So they're doing well, and they're actually in for the top helm in the Eastern Conference. So Giannis Antetokounmpo and company managed to beat Chicago Bulls 126 to 110. And of course, in the game, he scored 41 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, fall shy by 1 assist to make a triple double, 2 blocks, 2 steals, which is a total of 86 fantasy points. And currently in the standings, like we said earlier on, Giannis Antetokounmpo is in second place. He's averaging 33.4 points per game, 12.9 rebounds per game, and 6.6 assists per game right there for Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right, so this concludes our session right there. Of course, in the backcourt, Ja Morant with the lead there with 61 points. Then Cade Cunningham, Castle, AJ Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell. Nikola Jokic is in the shout. Aiden Hardenstein was in second place. Alperen Şengün and Julius Randle right there. Then a look at the injuries. Most picked up players, people are getting Luka. Luka, if you can get Luka, please do. Giannis Antetokounmpo, please do. These are very good players. Austin Reeves is actually being sold. George is also being let go of. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander being let go of. Wembenyama being let go of. So yeah, then the injury, Trae Young right there, the Atlanta Hawks are struggling with him out. Demantis Sabonis is also back on the bench. Of course, Anthony Davis, well, always the usual customer. So that concludes our session today. I am going to sign out just to show you the team that will be fielding today. These are the players that will be playing for me tonight. So all the best, guys, in game day 6. And of course, let's hope all goes well for you. All right, it's been your boy. Peace out. Until next time.